You want to slow down, you're tired, you're overstimulated, overcommitted, overwhelmed. Where do you start? I'm Katie, and I used to believe that I needed to be more organised and more productive, and that would help me to feel less overwhelmed and stressed. But what I really needed was less noise, less pressure, less stuff. In this video, I'm going to share 5 changes that are simple but have really been effective in my life in helping me to slow down and embrace a simpler way of living. These aren't extreme or time-consuming changes. They are realistic and things that you can start today. And remember, you don't have to do all of these things today. Just listen, absorb, and maybe just try one thing and make a small change starting today. So point number 1 is to start living by your values. Now, what I mean by that is to think about what is most important to you. Society trains us to believe that earning lots of money, having a big house, having the nicest clothes, having all of the new gizmos and gadgets and all of these things, that is important, because for society and the people that are, you know, up there, all the rich people, it makes them more money the more money we spend. So that's the way our brains are trained. We're constantly bombarded by adverts, whether that's from actual companies selling you things or with influencers on social media who will be given things or paid to share things in the hopes that you will be influenced to buy those things. We're bombarded from all angles, but what we need to do, and this is something that I constantly am reminding myself, is think about what's truly important. A way to help you to do this is to think about what you want to be remembered by in your final days. Do you want to be remembered for having a big house? Do you want to be remembered for having lovely clothes? Or would you like to be remembered as somebody who really loved their family and spent time with their family, or somebody who loved being in the garden, or somebody who took interest in doing things for the environment? Whatever it is, those are your values. They are the things that actually matter to you. So take some time today to just, you know, whether it's on your phone or on a bit of paper or just in your head, think about what is important. What is it that you want to be remembered for one day, but also therefore, what are you going to live by? What are your rules? So as an example, my values are family. Everything I do is for my family, whether it's making the children eat healthier or getting us outside. I'm doing it for the good of my family. My family is everything to me. So everything that I do is driven by that first core principle. My second important value is health. It is very important to me that we live healthy lifestyles. I also grew up in a family that wasn't particularly healthy. There was diet culture, junk food, you know, and I don't want that for my family. So health and fitness, to a point, that's something I struggle with myself, but you know, being fit and healthy, that is also important to me. So that's my second. And then my third is nature. This is a recent one. You know, as a child, I wasn't particularly an outdoorsy child. I didn't grow up in a family that went on walks or anything like that. But as I've got into my 40s, I love it. So whether that's animals or plants, anything to do with nature, that is something that I want to live by. I want to be outdoors more. I want to be able to help nature. So if that's planting things or putting a bird box out, as you know, we have a bird box in our garden with Brenda the great tit. Anything that I can do to help nature, that is my third value. Of course you might have more, but if you can have a top 3 things that are really important to you, that will be your guide. Anything that you do on a day-to-day basis, decisions that you make, is this aligned with my values. The more you can live by your values, the happier you will be. My next point is very simple. Unfollow anyone who doesn't align with your core values. Social media really can shape who we are, because everything that we consume can start to consume us. And so often you can be following someone and they will share a piece of content that will trigger you in some way. It might trigger you in what is perceived a positive way. So you might follow somebody who shares a really nice outfit and you think, oh, I want those trousers. They look great. They'll look great on me. What you're not realizing is actually triggering a response that you need those things because you want to improve yourself, which means you're not actually happy with how you are without those trousers. So it feels like a positive thing that they're influencing you positively to buy that thing and have, oh, do this, but actually it's making you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't have those things. Then there's the more obvious negative triggers. So I followed somebody the other day who was sharing a new house that she's bought, and it's massive and it's beautiful, and it just made me feel really jealous. And I knew instantly I had to unfollow her, because if I continue to follow, I am going to be triggered and wish I lived in the same mansion that she is now going to be living in. And that's really sad, because, you know, she's not doing it to make people feel jealous. She's not wanting to make people feel bad. But there's obviously something within me, a deep trauma, that is triggered by that. And yes, I need to work on that. But in the meantime, I just need to unfollow and create peace for myself. And that is what you need. You don't need to be triggered to buy things and wish you had more things and wish you could go on holiday more, or wish you had the perfect body, or wish you had the perfect clothes. You just don't need that. And the thing is, it's not just about the fact that it might make you spend money. You might go and buy the clothes, you might buy that gadget. It's the fact that you are constantly being sold this idea that you need to spend money or improve yourself because otherwise you're not good enough. That is basically the marketing ploy. I mean, not somebody who's just sharing her house. She's sharing her house because she wants to share her house. But people are constantly bombarding you with these things, which makes you want these things as well. And that is just really damaging, because you actually have a lot going for you. You already have lovely things. They might not be the same lovely things as that person. Like my house, I'm so lucky I have a house. I have a house. I don't need that mansion. I wouldn't be able to clean it. It would just be too much. I already have everything I need, so I don't need to feel unworthy. Like, well, how come I don't have a mansion? I don't need to be feeling like that. I'm very lucky. I have a home, I have clothes, I have a body, I have a family. Like, I don't want to be made to feel like what I have isn't good enough. As soon as you feel like you're triggered, just unfollow. I mean, the best thing to do would just be to delete Instagram. You'd still find me over here, it's fine. If we could just get rid of social media, there wouldn't be that comparing all the time. You'd just be happy with what you had, because you wouldn't constantly be peering in through people's windows and seeing all of the wonderful things that they've got. But remember, the grass is always greener. But just water your own grass, it'll be fine. Point number 3 is something you can start today, but it's definitely something that is to be built on over time, and that is creating calming routines, daily routines that will help to keep you calm and grounded. Simple things like every day as you get out of bed, open your curtains or your blinds or whatever it is, and then make your bed. It's a simple thing, but the difference to your mindset is massive. You won't necessarily see it at first, but after a while it just becomes habit. You know, every day you make your bed and it's just a good, like turning a fresh page. It's that same thing. Making your bed just starts the day right. Another good one is to make time, even if it means getting up 10 minutes earlier, make time to do your face every day. You don't have to put on a whole load of makeup, but just, you know, wash your face, moisturize, you know, really look after yourself, give your hands a moisturize, just take care of yourself, just 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you know, it doesn't have to be much, but just take the time to look after yourself in that small way of just a bit of moisturizer. But it's just a signal to your brain that I matter, I am making the time for myself, and it just allows you to calm the noise. Remember, this is all about living a slower and simpler life. So yes, you could get up in a rush and toss the covers back and not bother making your bed and rush downstairs. You haven't even bothered to brush your hair or, you know, moisturize your face. You don't have a cup of tea. You don't bother with breakfast. You're just in a hurry, in a hurry, in a hurry, in a hurry. What sort of life is that? What is that signaling to your brain? That everything is a rush, everything is a panic, everything is a stress, and then all of that causes stress within you that then is carried throughout the rest of your day. If it just means getting up 10 minutes sooner so that you've got time, 5 minutes for your face and 5 minutes for a cup of tea, your bed doesn't take any time at all, but you've started in a calm, serene way that just sets you up for the rest of the day to feel like, do you know what, going slower doesn't have to mean that I'm going to be late. Going slower just means I've pushed away the unnecessaries to make time for the things that are important, which is peace and myself and my environment. Number 4 is actually stop buying all the stuff. You don't need it. 1, we don't need it because it's just more clutter for our homes that we just don't need or want in our life. And 2, we don't need it because it's not going to make us feel better. It might for a minute. So you might buy that pair of shoes that influencer was like, oh my God, these are the best shoes ever in the whole wide world. You know, you've got to get yourself a pair. And oh yeah, no, I really want a pair because then I'll be like her. And she said they're comfortable and I really do love them. They're beautiful. They're going to change my life. And then you buy them and you might love them for that few seconds of buying them, and you wear them, and then they're really uncomfortable, or they're actually really ugly, and I don't know why she said that I needed them because they're really hideous and they don't suit me, and they were expensive, and now what do I do? Well, you could try and sell them on Vinted or just give them to charity, or they just, worse still is they just go in your cupboard and they clutter up your house forevermore. If you find yourself thinking, oh, I want to buy that thing, really ask yourself, do I need it? Or do I already have 20 pairs of shoes? Do I already have a lot of pairs of trousers? Do I already have enough gadgets in my house to set up a gadget shop? Do I need it? Will I use it? Or is it the idea of it that I like? Like, I love the idea of owning a coffee machine. I just really like, it's all whizzy and gadgety and wonderful. But I don't drink coffee. So if I bought one, it literally would be unused forever. So do I buy a coffee machine? No, I do not. I don't need one. Do I see beautiful clothes on people that I follow on social media? Yes, I do. Do I need them for myself? No, I do not. My wardrobe is full. I have enough washing in my life. I do not need to add more clothes into the wash pile. I must refrain from buying into it, and so must you. It's hard not to want these things, but you just need to remind yourself, this does not align with the values that I have. I want to enjoy my family. I want to be healthy. I want to spend time in nature. Does spending all this money on this junk, essentially, helping me with those things? No. So I don't need those things. Will it, in fact, detract from those things? Yes, because 1, if I've got so much stuff in my house that I keep buying, I'm going to have no time to spend with my family because I will be too busy doing all the laundry and the tidying of all the clutter and things. So I won't have time for my family, and my family will be agitated by the mess because I'll be agitated by the mess, and clutter consumes you. So that's one. Two, is it helping my health being stressed by all the clutter because I keep buying all of the stuff? No. Three, nature. Is it helping nature, me buying all of this stuff? No, it is not, because actually the chemicals involved in making it and the shipping, you know, the fumes from the petrol that delivers all the stuff. No, not helping my values at all. Number 5 is something that I have recently taken on board myself. It is not an easy one, but you can start today even in a very small way, and that is eating closer to the source and getting rid of processed food. Looking at it as a whole, it's not an easy change. I mean, I did it and it was very stressful. I shouldn't have taken it on board in such a drastic way, but that is just who I am. I just said, no, no more. We are not buying processed food anymore. And it was very difficult because then there was no food in our house. Because surprisingly, lots of things, even the things you don't think are processed, still processed. And I'm talking ultra processed here. So like cheese is processed, but it is just cheese. I'm talking things like chocolate bars, chicken nuggets, bread even, you know, it's highly, highly processed, ultra processed food. That's what I'm talking about. But you can start small. Little things like, instead of buying a jar of dolmio sauce to put into your pasta, buy passata. It's just pure blitzed up tomatoes, and you just use that instead, and then you know, add a bit more herbs, just get some dried herbs, and that is exactly the same, but you will have taken away so many bad ingredients and you're using whole foods instead. I mean, even better, you could buy some tomatoes and just blitz them up yourself. But the more that you do it, the more you start to really think, okay, well, instead of using that, maybe I could use that. I'm just not going to buy those crisps anymore. I'm going to buy more fruit. I'm not going to buy chicken nuggets. I'm going to just have chicken. The more you make these changes, the more that you realise it's not that difficult, as long as you do it in slow steps. Not like me, I did it all in one go. It was very stressful. I don't recommend it. But if you do it in slow, small steps, actually over time you just start to notice a shift. And also, cooking is a great way of slowing down. And that's what we're here for. We want to live a slower, gentler, simpler life. And cooking from scratch, yes, it takes a while, and you have to think ahead of time, and you can't just, okay, well, dinner needs to be ready in 15 minutes. You can't do that. You need to have started an hour before, or you need to have put it in the slow cooker in the morning, or pre-cooked some of it earlier in the day. And I appreciate that some people work long hours, and so you need to be home and have something ready in 15 minutes. Absolutely appreciate it. So the small change could just be on weekends. On weekends I cook from scratch, but also during the week I don't buy the crisps, I don't buy the chocolate anymore. I have an apple or whatever it is. It doesn't all have to involve time consuming cooking. You still are able to make better choices at the point of buying the food in the supermarket, and it just makes a difference. I could go into more of it, but this is not the video for that. I would recommend reading Ultra Processed People. It is a fascinating, fascinating book that has really changed the trajectory of how we are as a family, and it's made me never want to eat highly processed food ever again. Once you know something, you can't unknow it, that sort of thing. So they're my 5 points. Think about your 3 core values. Once you have those in place, everything else becomes clear. You know how to live your life because that is your roadmap. 2, unfollow anyone who doesn't align with your values or that triggers you and makes you feel negatively about you or your family or your circumstances, anything about your life. 3, create routines that will help to keep you calm and grounded. Start the day well, progress through the day well, and end the day well. 4, buy less and choose more intentionally when you do buy anything. And 5, eat closer to the source. Cut out processed foods. It's not difficult, it's not easy, but it is well worth doing. I hope that's been interesting. Genuinely, living a slower and simpler life has made me so much happier in myself, and I would love for you to give just one of those points a try so that you can live happier too.